When it comes to attracting staff, build it and they will come. In a bid to attract more workers from teachers to tradies to the Central Highlands, a campaign was launched in early October called the Make the Smart Move campaign. The ads went on the big social media platforms in a short amount of time. The ads have received 40,000 plus hits. CEO of the Central Highlands Development Corporation, Peter Dowling, is with you. Peter, it's only been a couple of months with the campaign. You've received some interest. How much?
Yeah, good morning, Jeremy. We've had over 3.7 million sort of impressions across the 8-week campaign, which is now concluded. So, that just tells us there are a lot of eyeballs on the campaign. And that's really important for us because the intent of the campaign is really positioning the Central Highlands for career opportunities and its lifestyle. And that's exactly what's come through the report that we've got post the 8-week campaign. And really interesting, the campaign was really built on localisation. So a lot of people would have seen images and videos over that 8-week period, and it'll continue in different ways beyond that period. But they're all locals. They're all people that are in our region doing their thing in their particular field, and that really gives great credibility to what we've put out in the marketplace.
That's interesting. So I guess with social media, you can get all sorts of data these days as well as, who's looking at what. What did that tell you?
It is really interesting when you break it down. Some of the stats that came back are that, Facebook was a big hitter for us. It clocked in more than 6,700 link clicks, which just basically means that the number of people who clicked on the website link that was part of that Facebook post. So, that's a really important market for us that we've defined. The campaign really has exceeded industry benchmarks on Instagram and YouTube, which we're really pleased with. And then you go to other platforms like TikTok, and we've got over 500,000 impressions there, but a lower level of engagement. So what that tells us is that a lot of folk were, a lot of eyeballs on it again. And in fact, our physio video with Alicia Jaffrey was a standout. So that she's a younger lady in our region, and that really connected with potentially what TikTok is, a younger sort of community or audience.
Yeah, that's really interesting. With TikTok, I guess, who would you be trying to attract there? You mentioned physios. Is that your younger professionals?
Well, that's how it worked out. So throughout the process of the 8-week campaign, we had, weekly catch-ups with our provider, Neon Logic, and our team. So our team really drove this hard, and we switched our advertising and our media spend based on the data that was coming through. So what we did find out was, for example, teaching and construction did really well on Google Ads. Childcare was a favourite for the Instagram crowd, and health with Alicia was the TikTok sort of favourite. So we were able to sort of define some of that along the way and push our spend to support it. And others are just pickups that we've had post-campaign.
What do you think the flow-on effects will be here?
Listen, I really think we nailed the brief in positioning the region for career and lifestyle opportunity. But we've got to keep going with that. And the team at CHDC, led by Deb and with Rowie and Nikki, their great support, have really positioned online a great deal of assets that our local business, industry and our government sectors in the Central Highlands can use for any of their recruitment opportunities going forward. So that was the benefit long term, was that we built these assets. So assets being collateral, videos, all sorts of information that can be beneficial to their campaigns, and they can build them into their campaigns. So it's not a static 8-week media campaign alone. It has this longevity that goes with it. And then in the future, should we, find the resources and want to continue with another media campaign, we can certainly do that.
It's interesting line just to know what platforms work for targeting, who. I think that's really interesting about TikTok with younger people and what construction workers are looking at.
Oh, it is. It's fascinating when you go through the data with the team, and it really zones in on where you should put your spend, and then the rest is a lot of anecdotal evidence as well that supports it. But we've got to really pay a lot of attention to our stakeholders. So we had some really good buy-in from the start with this project. We had a lot of stakeholders across. So we did a lot of research with our provider and define those key industry areas that are requiring priority jobs now. All of our industry and business need people, but there are some priority areas, the health in particular, construction, the trade areas, those that we've listed there, teaching, childcare, were really top of the mark. So we did focus groups there. We did extensive interviews across business and industry to capture their intent. And that really came back with some nuggets of gold, because that's where we got the theme Smart Move from, was the theming came through some of the wording in that feedback and focus group. So that helped us build that tagline and that sort of campaign title. We built off that from there.
Interesting. Well, Peter, huge thanks for joining us this morning, and very, very interesting insights there.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to what's next.
Peter Dowling with you there, CEO of the Central Highlands Development Corporation.